Hare Krishna. I welcome all of you to our session of Bhagavad Gita. The objective of this class is to enable reading of the shlok, to understand the meaning of the shlok, and to help understand the basic philosophy of Gita. Now we are on chapter 7, shlok number 24. So the chapter is knowledge of the absolute. Now, Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters and 700 shloks. Of this 18 chapters are into three parts. The first 6 chapters is talking about the Gyan Yoga, Karma Yoga, and Dhyan Yoga. And the last 6 chapter, which is from 13th to 18th, this basically it talks about more on Gyan Yoga and also summary. And the middle chapter from 7th chapter to 12th chapter, that is on Bhakti Yoga, and that is the most important chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, why? Because in this 6 chapters, Krishna explains about himself. This is the only time when Krishna declares himself to be the Supreme Lord, and he explains the cause of all causes. So he explains everything about himself, and that is why it is very confidential and the most important part of Gita. Also, this is called the jewel in the box. Yeah, this is a jewel which Bhagavad Gita is holding for everyone. This section, chapter 7, is divided into 5 sections. We have already completed first three sections. We started with the 4th section, Devata worship and impersonalism last time, and today we'll continue with that. And then we'll end this chapter, the last section, which is from delusion by Maya to devotion to Krishna. We'll finish this chapter today, and then we'll talk about the glories of chapter 7 from Padma Puran. What we have done in the last class, we started with the 4 types of people who surrender to Krishna. They are Sukritanas. And who are they? Artharthi, Jigyasu, Artharthi, and Jnani. Artho is basically the distressed. First is Artho. Artho is the distressed. Jigyasu is someone who is inquisitive, is trying to find things. Artharthi is someone who is wishing or desiring to have more wealth or material pleasure. And Jnani is someone who has no desire. He knows that he's the soul, and he knows that Krishna is the supreme Lord, and he's in search on how to move to Krishna. So that is a Jnani. And Krishna says Jnani is the best. And then he talks about the rarity of a pure devotee. So we talked about the 4 types of Sukritanas. They are Mishrit Bhakta. Mishrit Bhakta means all these Bhakta, although they are devotees, but they have some desire for themselves. They are still attached to material world, and they have material desires. So they are Mishrit Bhakta. But a pure Bhakta is a Kevala Bhakta. Kevala Bhakta is only desire of Krishna, nothing else, right? So then in this shlok he talks about Bahunam Jamanamante Jnanavan Mam Prabadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlubha. So Krishna says, after even the Sukritinas, after many birth, at the end of many birth, what happened? The one who is Jnani will actually finally totally surrender to him, and he will understand that Vasudevam Sarvamiti. Krishna is everything, and such great devotee are rare. And then we went into, after Krishna, he talked about Devata worship, and he explained which all people do Devata worship. So those who have material desires, they want to get something from a devata. So I need to top in my college, so I will go and worship Saraswati Devi. I need more wealth, so I'll go and worship Lakshmi Devi. So basically, based on your need, you go and worship the required Devi or Devata, and it is basically a trade. It's a give and take. I'm praying so that I get something from my material desire should get satisfied. So that is what those people actually go for Devata worship. And then I give faith and results to them. And then Krishna says that even to devtas, that then we talked about how the corporate world and each of the devtas are actually responsible, the head of a particular division. And then that even the power that they have is also comes from to satisfy the wishes, also comes from Krishna. Krishna is also sitting there as a super soul in the heart of Devi and Devta. And also when someone wishes to worship a Devta, Krishna forms the faith of that person into that particular Devi Devta, so that they can continue worship that particular god and or Devi and Devata, right? And then he says that whatever results they get from the desire that gets fulfilled is also short-lived. And like Mataji, as you rightly asked, it is not that whatever desire I wish it will get fulfilled, it will also be based on my karma, what my karma has been, and based on all those things, the desire accordingly, the desire will either be fulfilled. And also we talked about that why, although Devi Devta, they are the limbs of Krishna and they are also under control of Krishna, but why, people don't, they actually let the person Jiva go to Krishna directly. It is because of the Jiva, the living entity. What they do, they don't desire. If the consciousness for them is to approach Krishna, and if they are praying to the Devi Devta for helping the Jiva to reach Krishna, then they can help. Devi Devta are empowered to help them. But the thing is, normally people go to Devi Devta to fulfill their selfish desire, not to achieve Krishna, right? That is what it is, and that's what we talked about in the last class. And today we'll talk about the 24th shlok, and that is about impersonalism. So let us please recite. अव्यक्तं व्यक्तिमापन्नं मन्यते माम बुद्धयः परं भावम् अजानन्तो मम अव्ययम् अनुत्तमम् अव्यक्तं व्यक्तमापन्नं मन्यते माम बुद्धयः परं भावम् अजानन्तो मम अव्ययम् अनुत्तमम्. So here Krishna says avyaktam. Avyaktam means who does not have a form. Avyaktam is having absolute truth, having Krishna having no form. Avyaktam. Vyaktim means having a personality. Apannam, and that is basically gets a personality, achieves a personality. Manyate, and manyate means those who believe. Mam abudhya, those who believe that I, Krishna, is actually avyakt, is basically impersonal. It doesn't have a form. So Krishna is saying, Mam, those who say that I, Krishna, is basically avyaktam. It does not have a form. It is avyakt. And then during the hit, and it takes birth temporary. Vyakti is a form and takes the form temporary. Those are abuddhya. Those are totally unintelligent. Yeah. So before this, when Krishna talked about praying to Devi Devta, he had talked about people being alpa buddhi. Alpa means less intelligent. So he said the less intelligent people, they go and worship Devi Devta. And those who are unintelligent, those who are abuddhya, has no intelligence, what do they believe? They believe that Krishna is actually without any form, and he takes the form in the material. When he comes here, he takes the form which is temporary, and also he disappears. So remember the shlok when Krishna says janma karma me divyam, my appearance and my activity, my karma, my activities are all divya, and anyone who understands that will actually not take birth again. We talked about this in the 4th chapter, 4th shlok, right? So that's what he says. Those who believe that I come here and I also disappear, those who are basically, and I have no forms, they are basically abuddhya, unintelligent people. And then param bhavam ajananto. Param bhav means my param, my supreme bhav, my supreme nature. Ajananto, they don't know. Mama, that I am avyayam. Avyayam means I am imperishable, and Anutamam, and I am the supreme. So that they don't know that my param bhav, my highest position, that I am actually imperishable and I am supreme, that they don't know. So let us read the English translation. Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, was impersonal before, and I have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. Right? So we talked about, so what in Bhagavatam talks about the absolute truth, the various position of the three level of absolute truth. And in Bhagavatam, it states Vandati tattvam vidastatvam yajas jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwan iti shabdeyat. It says that there are three levels of absolute truth. One is Brahmati, then Brahma, then Paramatma, and then Bhagwan. So these are the three levels. Yeah, and he says, so learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahma, Paramatma, or Bhagwan. And what exactly it is it is the Bhagwan. Bhagwan is the supreme, and super soul is someone who is in everyone's heart, and the effulgence, the light, the light, the effulgence of the personality of Godhead Krishna is actually the Brahma. That is what it is. The Brahma that is looked at is Brahma, is that, right? So these are the three layers that we have. And as you know, we talked about that example when you're coming from a mountain, when you're coming by from a plane, and then you see a mountain, yeah, from far away a mountain, it just looks green in color. Yeah. So and then when you go closer to it, when you see the huts and the trees, and when you still go closer to it, what you see, you can see the people, you can see the cow, you can see all other animals there, right? So similarly, these are the three things. It all depends. All of us are in our journey. All of us are in our journey. Now, someone could have just they are at a distance where they can just see the green mountain. And when you're seeing the green mountain, it is like seeing the Brahma, basically seeing the effulgence around Krishna, right? Now you can stop there, then you will always remain with that thought. But if you continue with your journey, then you will be able to see the trees and the huts, which is equivalent to the super soul, which is, so it is Jnani is actually understands still Brahma. Then when you move forward, it becomes a yogi, and yogi sees the super soul in everyone's heart. He understands that Krishna, the absolute truth, exists in everyone's heart as super soul. So that is basically yogi, and that is what is the second, where you can see the trees and mountains. And when you still move forward to understand more forward, then you will see the supreme personality of Godhead Krishna, where you can see actually the people around, the living entities around. So these are the three levels that we have talked about, and that's how you can understand the three levels of absolute truth, right? So he says those who think that I don't have a form and I'm nothing, they are basically a buddha. Now the question is, why do they think so? Why? So here Krishna says, Param bhavam ajananto mama avyam. My param bhav. What is my param bhav? My param bhav is that I am imperishable and supreme. So why? Because to know Krishna, you have to actually associate with pure devotees. You have to associate with pure devotees, Kevala Bhakta. The more association you have with the pure devotees, the higher your understanding about Krishna will happen, right? So Krishna says in 18th chapter, he says, 55 shloks, he says, Bhaktya mam abhijanati. How can we know Krishna? We can know Krishna only by bhakti. Only by devotional service we can know Krishna. So that is what Krishna says here. One can understand me as I am, as a supreme personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. And when one is full conscious of me by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Yeah. So here we talked about Avyaktam vyaktamappanna manyate mama buddhya param bhavam ajanato mama avyam amatam. We go to the next slok, which is 25th slok. It says, Naham prakasha sarvasya yoga maya samavritah मूढ़ोऽयं न अभिजानाति लोको माम अजम अव्ययम् नाहं प्रकाशस्य सर्वस्य योग माया समावृत मूढ़ोऽयं न अभिजानाति लोको माम अजम अव्ययम्. Yeah. So now here Krishna says, Na aham prakasha sarvasya. No aham, I. Prakasha, I don't manifest, I don't become visible to sarvasya, to everyone. I don't become visible to everyone. Yoga maya samavrita. Avrita means hidden. Avrita means covered. I am covered. I am covered by what? I am covered by yoga maya. So Krishna is now talking about yoga maya. Here, yoga maya is the internal potency of Krishna. So Krishna is covered by yoga maya. We have till now, we have been talking about Mahamaya, yeah, and how the Mahamaya controls the material world. Now Krishna is talking about Yog Maya, which actually covers Krishna, hides Krishna. And Mudhoyam, the Mudhoyam means those who are foolish. Those who are foolish, na abhijanati, they cannot understand me. What they cannot understand me? Vam ajam avyam, that I am ajam, I am unborn and I am imperishable. So those who are mudhas, those who are foolish, they cannot understand that I am ajam, I am unborn and I am imperishable, right? So let us read the translation. I never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. I never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency. For them, I am covered by my internal potency. And therefore, they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. Therefore, they do not know that I am unborn and infallible. Right? So the question could be that, Krishna was actually came in the during the Dwapar Yuga, and then, at that point of time and during the Kurukshetra war, he was with Duryodhan. So many people saw him, right? So how can you say that he doesn't that Krishna was there? Then how that he doesn't show to everyone? So if you go to our scriptures, although Duryodhan, Shishupal, all of them, or all the warriors who were in the battlefield, everyone saw Krishna, but no one actually knew who Krishna was, right? No one actually knew who Krishna was. Now think about the time when both Duryodhan and Arjun, they both went to Krishna for asking for support for Kurukshetra war. What happened? Duryodhan came first and he sat near the head of Krishna, and Arjun came later and he sat near the feet of Krishna. And when Krishna was sleeping, when Krishna got up, he saw Arjun first. So he said, okay, Arjun, how come you are here? What do you want from me? Duryodhan said, no, this is not fair. I came earlier. So it's my right to ask things from you. So Krishna says, okay, that is fine, but the thing is, I saw Arjun first, so I will give him the opportunity to ask me why he has come here. So Arjun said that, Krishna, you know that Kurukshetra war is going to happen, yeah, and I want you to help me for the Kurukshetra war. So Duryodhan said, oh, even I have come for the same reason. Even I want your help for the Kurukshetra war. So Krishna says, fine, but since again I have seen Arjun first, so I will ask Arjun to have the first choice. So he told Arjun that, see, in the Kurukshetra war, I am not going to take any of the weapons. I am not going to take any of the weapons, right? So on one side, my entire army, Yadu dynasty, the entire my warriors will be there fighting with all the arms and everything, and I'll be on the other side without any weapons, and I will not use the weapons. So tell me, what do you want? And Arjun said, Krishna, I want you. And Duryodhana was very happy that he is so stupid that he has taken Krishna and he has left all the entire army and all the weapons for me. Yeah. So the thing is, Arjun knew that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and wherever Krishna is there, that's the side it will be the winner side. So Arjun knew who Krishna was. The Pandavas knew who Krishna was. He recognized him that he is the Supreme Lord, and finally, and he took to his side. Whereas Duryodhan, because although he was seeing Krishna, but he was seeing Krishna just like a ordinary man, right? Similarly, we know about Shishupal, right? How Shishupal was, cursing Krishna again and again. And finally, when, in the, during the, finally, Krishna killed Shishupal, right? So, but there were people like Vidur's wife, Vidur, and Bhishpitama. They knew, Kunti Maharani, they all knew that Krishna is the supreme personality of God. And but why they knew it? Because they were great devotees. They were pure bhakta. They were such great devotees that Krishna brought them along with him for doing the pastime. So what Krishna does when he comes here, where he does his leela, he actually, when he comes to this material world, he actually does leela, so that we all, even when he is not there, we can remember his leela and we can get attached to him, right? So the pure devotees like Bhishpitama, Vidur's wife. So we know the story of Vidur wife. What happened that when the last time, we all know that Duryodhana wanted to fight, and Pandavas, they never wanted to fight. And last time, when Krishna went to Dhritarashtra to basically be a mediator between both to ensure that war doesn't happen, Kurukshetra war doesn't happen. So when he went there, and Duryodhan knew that the most powerful person, Duryodhan was told that if Krishna can be brought on his side, then definitely everything, the war is, they'll be the winner. So Duryodhan actually threw a great party. He had everything on his side, and he started giving Krishna wealth from much before he could reach the palace. But what Krishna did after completing his discussion there, he did not even stay there for a minute. He went to Vidur's wife. Vidur's home, and Vidur was not there at home. And Vidur's wife was so surprised to see Krishna, and she was so overwhelmed to see Krishna, that she had bananas in her house, and she offered banana to Krishna. And she was so, she was such a pure devotee, and just watching Krishna, that she actually peeled the bananas, and instead of giving the banana, she threw the bananas and gave the banana peel to Krishna. Yeah. So that is the, this is what the great devotees are, who knows Krishna. Then Krishna will only come to the will only, will only honor the devotees. That's why he says, those who don't know me, those who are running after material. So what happened when Krishna came? So Vidur's wife, she had banana. So she was like watching Krishna, and instead of giving the banana to him, what she did, she kept on throwing banana and kept on offering the banana peel and watching Krishna. And Krishna accepted the banana peel and kept on eating without saying anything. And when Vidur entered, he said, "What are you doing?" And then she realized that, oh, okay, she's actually giving banana peel. She was so much engrossed. She was such a, yeah. So that is what is the story of Vidur's, when Krishna comes to Vidur's wife's house, right? So basically, Krishna says that I don't manifest to everyone, and only because I'm covered by Yog Maya. And then we talked about in the 14th chapter, slok of this chapter, Krishna has told us that it is Mahamaya, it is Durga Devi, who is actually the controller of this world, which is we call as Mahamaya. So Yog Maya and Mahamaya both are Krishna's energy. He says, Devi Hesha Gurmai, Mama Maya Udrutya, Mama Maya, it's my energy, which is actually the controlling the material world, material world also. And it is very difficult to cross that Mahamaya. It's very difficult to cross the material world. But those who surrender unto me, I help them. Now, Yoga Maya is Krishna's internal potency, which is basically, we talk about Radharani. So, Krishna is covered by Yoga Maya, and unless Yoga Maya allows, we cannot, Krishna cannot be seen or cannot be understood. Yeah. Mudham na abhijanati. And that is why, unless you surrender, unless you do devotional service to Krishna, those who are mudha, those who are foolish, the unintelligent, what they will do? They will consider him as a human being just like any other, and will go ahead into the material world desiring for their entertainment and other things, right? So with this, we finish the last section 4, which is Devta and impersonalism. And we enter the last section, the 5th section, which is from delusion by Maya to devotion to Krishna. This is what the shlokas are about. So let's read the 26th shlok. वेदाहं समतीतानि वर्तमानि च अर्जुन भविष्याणि च भूतानि मां तु वेद न कश्चन वेदाहं समतीतानि वर्तमानि च अर्जुन भविष्याणि च भूतानि मां तु वेद न कश्चन. So Krishna says here, Ved also means to know. Ved also means to know. Ved aham, I know. What I know? Samatitani vartamani cha Arjuna. Oh Arjun, I need all the Vartaman is present. Vartaman means present. And Bhavishyani means future. And Bhutani means past. So I know everything that is happening in the Vartaman, in present, that will happen in Bhavishya, which will happen in future, and what had happened in the past. Ma tu vedana kashana. But ma, to me, no, vedana kashana, but no one knows me. Understood? So here Krishna says, I know what is happening I know everything that is happening in the present, it will happen in the future, and has happened in the past, but no one, ma tu vedan kashana, but Ved is no, but no one knows me. So let us read the translation. O Arjun, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past. All that is happening in the present. And all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities. But me, no one knows. Right? So now, this takes me back to the 4th chapter that we have done. If you remember the first slok of 4th chapter, Krishna said to Arjun that, oh Arjun, I have actually given the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita first to Vivaswan some millions and millions of years back, right? That is how the 4th chapter started. When Krishna said to Arjun that, oh Arjun, this is not the first time that I'm telling you, this information is not for the first time. I have told this knowledge, I had given this knowledge to Vivaswan. Vivaswan is the sun god, some millions and millions of years ago. And Vivaswan gave it to Manu. Manu is the father of mankind. Manu and Shatrupa, they are the one from where Shrishti started, right? So Manu and they gave to Manu, and from Manu it went to Ikshvaku. Ikshvaku is the head of the solar dynasty, in which dynasty Ramji had come. So, and from there it passed on to Ikshvaku. And Arjun is totally confused. He says, Krishna, how can you tell about this to Vivaswan? We are always together, and Vivaswan were there in millions years back. How did you say that? So Krishna replies to Arjun saying that, oh Arjun, you and I have taken many births. You have forgotten all, but I remember all. That is the difference between you and me. I remember all of them. And why I am telling you this whole information again, Gita again? Because when it was being passed on from Ikshvaku to through various Raj Rishi, the whole, the parampara got broken. And because the parampara got broken, so the knowledge that had now distorted. So I'm again telling this knowledge to you, O Arjun, so that from you again, it via a parampara, it can reach everyone. Yeah, so that's why he's telling again to Arjun, right? So So that's why Krishna says, Vedaham sa, I know everything that is going to happen in future. I know what happened in past, and I also know what is going to happen in now, right? Then Matu Vedana Kashana. He says, but no one knows me. And here Krishna he has just few in the fifth sloka of chapter 4, Krishna says, Bahuni me vyatitani janmani arjuna tanam ved sarvani natam ved. I've already talked about this. It's okay. So now, in the seventh chapter, the third sloka, Krishna says, Manushyanam sahastreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatamapi siddhanam kaschinam veti tatvata. Krishna says, out of thousands and thousands among men, Manushyanam sahastreshu. Sahastra means thousands. Among thousands and thousands of men, what happened? Kaschid yatati siddhaya. Hardly anyone tries for perfection. Hardly anyone endeavors to get the spiritual perfection. Yatatamapi siddhanam. And out of all those siddhanams who try for perfection, kaschin namami vedi tatvata. Hardly anyone knows the truth. Hardly anyone is able to reach the truth. Yeah. And then in the 19th sloka of this chapter, Krishna has said, Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudevam sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. He says, no one knows me, but how to know? He says, Bahunam janmanamante. After many, many births, what happened? Jnanavan, who has a knowledge, who had been searching for me. Yeah. Constantly, what they surrender to me completely. And when they suddenly, when they completely surrender to me, and then they know that why do they surrender to me completely? Because they know Vasudevam Sarvamiti, that he is the Supreme Lord. Vasudevam is all and all is Vasudeva, Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha, and such souls are very rare. So why no one knows him? How to know? So he has talked about this into multiple shlokas already till now, right? So the question is, let's read now, go to the Vedaham Samtitani Vartmani Charjan Bhavishaya. This, yeah. So why people do not know Krishna? What is the reason that people do not know about Krishna? And he talks about that in the next slok, 27th slok. So 27th slok, it says, Iksha Dvesha Samuthena Dvandva Mohena Bharata Sarvabhutani Sammoham Sarge Yanti Parantapa Iksha Dvesha Samuthena Dvandva Mohena Bharata Sarvabhutani Sammoham Sarge Yanti Parantapa. Now in this shlok, Krishna has addressed Arjun twice. One as Bharat, that is the descendant of Bharat, and then Parantapa. Parantapa means someone who is a conqueror of enemies. Parantapa. So he has addressed Krishna, Arjun twice, Bharat and Parantapa. He says, Iksha Dvesh Samuthena. Iksha means desire, and Dvesh means hatred. Dvesh, jealousy, envy. Right? So he says Iksha, that is desire, and Dvesh, which is envy or hatred or jealousy, Samuthena. They are, these are the two qualities which people are bewildered with. Dvandva is duality. Dvandva is duality. We have talked about duality multiple times. So one of the duality is Iksha, desire, and envy. So these, what happened because of these behavior, the dualities, and Mohena. Mohena means put the jiva into illusion. Because the duality of honor and dishonor. I should be honored, or I'm getting dishonored. Being happy and sad, heat and cold, right? Like and dislike. Because of all these dualities, the living entities actually get into delusion. And Sarva Bhutani Sammoham, everyone is getting delusion because of all these dualities. Sarge means at the beginning of creation. Sarge means at the beginning of creation. So when in the beginning of creation, when the living entity actually came to this world, they are already delusioned by the duality, and that's why they came here, right? They are already delusioned by the duality, and because of that, they cannot know me, right? So, let's read the translation. O skin of Bharat, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities, are born into delusion. Bewildered by dualities. Arisen from desire and hate. Yeah. So why people don't know Krishna? Because they have the qualities of desire and envy, and they are struggling with the duality of life, honor, dishonor, yeah, honesty, dishonesty, rich, poor. They are so much engrossed in all these things that they are so much what do you call it, you can say they are so much uh, confused and contaminated. They are so much contaminated by those dualities. Their soul is so much, the covering, it is so much contaminated by that duality that it will take a lot of time for them to get purified. Yeah. So unless if they have that, if anyone has got this contamination, especially Krishna talks about envy. If someone has envy and desire, they are the most important. If you have envy, especially in multiple shloks, Krishna has talked about jealousy and envy. If someone has envy, they can never approach Krishna. He's here, like even in Bhagavatam, he has quoted this multiple times. Envy is the greatest enemy to approach Krishna, and desire. So envy and desire, if you have these characteristics, then you cannot reach Krishna. Then you cannot approach Krishna. So he says, why I am covered and why people cannot reach me? Because of they have envy, the enviousness nature that they have, and the desires they have. If you have these things, you can never reach me, right? And then he also talks about Sarva Bhutani Samoha Sargayanti Parantapa. Now we go to next thing. Then who can know Krishna? When someone can know Krishna is the next slok, which is 27th slok. Krishna says, Yesham Tvantagatam Papam Jananam Punya Karmanam Te Dvandva Moha Nirmukta Bhajante Mam Drinavata Yesham Tvantagatam Papam Papam Jananam Punya Karmanam Te Dvandva Moha Nirmukta Bhajante Mam Drinavata. Now Krishna says, who and when can people approach him? Yesham. In all those, in whom? Tva antagatam papam. Antagatam papam. Whose all sinful reactions are completely done, has finished. Antagatam papam. Pap is sins. Whose all sins are fully done. It's finished. Jananam punya karmanam. And who has always been doing punya karma. Who has always been living a very pious lives. And not only in this lives, also through the previous lives, who has been doing lot of punya karmana, not only in this life, but also in previous life. Those people, dvandva moha nirmukta, what happens? They are vimukta, they are free of, what are they free of? Dvandva moha, they are free of dualities, and they are out of this illusion. They are out of the illusion of duality. Honor, dishonor, they are same. Sukh, dukh, it doesn't matter to them. Whether it is sukh, they are fine. If it is dukh, they are fine. They leave everything to Krishna. Whatever Krishna, it will happen, it's Krishna's mercy. Even if it is dukh, Krishna has been more merciful to me that he has not given me more pain. He has actually taken away all the pains from me. Right? Even if they are sukh, they know it's all Krishna's mercy. Today you have, it's all wave. Today you have sukh, tomorrow you will have dukh. Yeah. Today you have honor, tomorrow you will have dishonor. Yeah. So such people who have been living piously from births after births. Yeah. And they have been they have conquered the envy and desires by their pious activities, and have also overcome the Maya. So it doesn't matter to them. And they have, so all their sins have actually got eradicated. So what they will do? Bhajante mam drinvata. They are the one who will actually do my bhajan. They will actually do my service to me. Bhajante mam. They will actually do service to me. Drinvata means with determination. Drinvata means with determination. Only those people can actually come to me and worship me with determination, right? So let us read the translation. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination, right? So those are the people who can actually approach, can become a pure devotee by the association. They have become, because they have already got association. So then only you can reach this stage. Yeah. So association of devotees or association of pure devotees is extremely important for progress in spiritual life, right? Now, so I'm now talking about again 18th chapter, slok number 55, where Krishna again speaks, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. How can you know me? Only by devotional service. Only by Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. Unless you are doing service to me, then you, without that you cannot know me. And the more you do service towards me, the more you'll get purified. It means your sins will get reduced, right? You know, the more you are doing devotional service to me, not to any other Devi Devta. When you are doing service to me, and then the more you are, then what will happen? You actually become more purified, and then you will come to a stage finally after Bahunam Janmanamante, after many births, when you will be in a stage where you will completely surrender unto me, and I will help you to cross this material world, right? So now we talked about how to do this devotional service. What are these devotional service? So in Bhagavatam, in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 5th chapter let me just see. Yeah, so in Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna talks about it talks about the 9 process of, not Krishna, he talks about the 9 process of devotional service. So what someone may ask, okay, but what service should I do? We only know about chanting, we know about hearing, but what is devotional service? So in Bhagavatam, devotional, there are 9 processes by which Prahlad Maharaj explains that there are 9 processes by which you can do devotional service to Krishna. And the slok is Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Pada Sevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. So these are the 9 processes. What? First is Shravanam. Shravanam is hearing. Hearing means what? Hearing about Krishna, what he spoke in Bhagavad Gita, hearing about the pastimes of Krishna, what was his activities, what did he do, what are the different his Leela avatar, how and when he came on this earth, what did he do, and that is what is Bhagavatam. What is Bhagavatam? Bhagavatam is about all his different forms, how he has come and the activity that has happened during that time. That is Bhagavatam. So the first thing is Shravanam. The most important thing is hearing. And after hearing, because the more you hear, the more you get purified, the more you get attached, right, to Krishna. You get detached from the material world, so, and you get attached to Krishna. It means Yog Maya helps you to reach Krishna, right? Shravanam. So the most important thing is hearing. Then is Kirtanam. Kirtanam means chanting about Krishna and doing Kirtan for Krishna. So these are the first 2 things. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. Smaranam. Smarana means remembering. Smarana means remembering his pastimes. Whenever you are sitting, just thinking about Krishna, being in the thoughts of Krishna always. Pad Sevanam. Pad is feet. Is basically worshipping on the lotus feet of Krishna. Pada Sevanam. Yeah. Then Archanam. Archanam is worshipping Krishna. What do we do? We actually decorate the god. Yeah, we actually do the thing. We light diya, we offer an incense stick, we offer tulsi leaves, we decorate, we put tilak. All those things that we are doing is basically archanam. And then vandanam, we offer prayers, we sing for Krishna. That is vandanam. Dasyam, being a servant of Krishna, doing all the activity for Krishna, cooking for Krishna, bringing flowers for Krishna, decorating Krishna, then anything, basically singing for Krishna. So whatever we do is doing all the activities offering to Krishna, that is dasyam. Yeah. Sakhyam is being a friend of Krishna, and Atmanivedanam is offering yourself fully, Atmanivedam, surrendering completely by mind, body, and words to Krishna. So these are the 9 process of bhakti, our devotional service. So someone wants to know how to do, what to do when you say, okay, by devotional service you can achieve Krishna. Any of these processes, when you excel, you can actually reach Krishna. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. So these are the 9 devotional process of devotional service, right? And this can help us to free from the dualities of life. Now we go to the 29th shlok. जरा मरण मोक्षाय माम आश्रित्य यतन्ति चितये ये ते ब्रह्म तद्विदु कृत्स्नमध्यात्म कर्म चाखिलम् जरा मरण मोक्षाय माम आश्रित्य यतन्ति ये ते ब्रह्म तद्विदु कृत्स्नमध्यात्मं कर्म चाखिलम्. So here Krishna says jara means old age, and maran is death. Mokshaya, so liberation from old age and death. It means breaking the cycle of birth and death. Yeah, because birth, old age, and moksha, the time when someone is born, death is born along with that. Yeah. So birth and death comes together. When birth is coming, death is already there. It's waiting. Which day we don't know, but it is there, right? So jara maran, old age, and maran is death. Mokshaya means liberation. So mam ashritya dite. So the people who wants to get free of old age and death and get moksha, mam ashritya, they take shelter of me. Mam ashritya. Ashritya means shelter. Mam is mine. They come take shelter of me. Yadandite. Te Brahma tadvidu. Te Brahma is Brahma. He says they are actually Brahma tadvidu. Krishna adhyatmam karma chakhilam. Now here, so let's now understand the first. Let's read the meaning and then we'll talk about it. Intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahma because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. Now, before that, Krishna had talked about the 4 type of people comes to me, the Sukritinas. Who are there? Artho, Jigyasu, Artharthi, Jnani. He talked about the 4 people there. Now he is adding one more person who comes to him. Who are they? Jara, Maran, Mokshaya. Those who want moksha, liberation from old age and death. They also take shelter of Krishna. They also take shelter of Krishna is the first line that Krishna is explaining. And then now he's introducing few new words. Yeah. And he's talking about Brahma. Te Brahma. Brahma means the spirit soul. They are what? They are Brahma. Brahma is spirit soul. Tad vidu. Know that. Adhyatmam. Adhyatmam is Adhyatma. Adhyatma is self. Karma. Chakhilam. So here in this shlok and the next shlok, Krishna is going to talk about 7 new words. And he finishes this chapter, and in the next chapter, 8th chapter, Arjun actually questions what are these things. He'll question that, and Krishna will start explaining about that in the 8th chapter. So I'll not explain these words now. I'll just tell you the words that Krishna is talking about now, and we will actually go into detail about these words in the 8th chapter. So it's Brahma, Adhyatma, Karma, Chakhilam, and then we go to the next slok, which is the last slok of this chapter. It says, Sa Adibhuta Adidevam. 30th. Sa Adibhuta Adidevam. Mam. Sa Adhiyagyam cha me. Sa Adhiyagyam cha ye viduhu. Prayana kale api cha mam te viduryukta chetasah. So now here he talks about Sa Adibhuta Adidevam. So now he talked about two new words, Adibhuta and Adidevam. Adibhuta means, acha, we'll talk about that. Adibhuta Adidevam Mam Sa Adi Yagyam. Then again he talks about Adi Yagyam. This is the third. Three we'll saw here. He has talked about three more. Cha ye vidu prayana kale. Prayana kale means at the time of death. Prayana kale is at the time of death. Api cha mam te viduryukta chetasa. So we'll just read the meaning of this slok and we leave it here. Those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principles of the material manifestation, which is Adi Bhuta, of the demigods, that is Adi Devam, and of all the methods of sacrifice, which is Adi Yagyam, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death, Prayan Kale. So next chapter, Krishna talks about all these words. He'll explain in detail, and then he will also talk about the time of death. What happens when someone dies? At what time? What will happen? What is? So he actually talks more about that in the 8th chapter. So with this, we will actually finish this chapter, the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And what I'll do now is I'll move to the glories of chapter 7 from Padma Purana. I'll tell the story, what is written in Padma Purana, talking about the glories of chapter 7. As I mentioned earlier also, our Puran, so we have 18 Puran, and out of this Puran, Padma Puran, most of the Puran, basically Shivji speaking, Parvati ji asks she questions, and Shivji is explaining. So our Purans are mainly in the format of question and answers. So Parvati ji asks something and Shivji replies. So here also Parvati ji asks that please help me to understand the glories of chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita, and Shivji is now narrating the story to Parvati ji. And what Shivji is saying, once there lived a Brahmin called Shankukarna. Shankukarna, there was a Brahmin called Shankukarna, and he lived in Patliputra. He lived in Patliputra, and Patliputra is basically Patna, right? And although he was Brahmin, so what is the occupation of a Brahmin? The occupation of Brahmin is doing prayers, puja, chanting, doing kirtan, reading scriptures, helping the society to learn scriptures, and be the teacher to spread the knowledge of scriptures to everyone. Yeah. Also, it is the responsibility of Brahmin to advise the king or the ministers how to rule, because they are the most knowledgeable people, and that is the occupation of a Brahmin. So, but this Brahmin, Shankukarna, instead of doing his occupation, what he was doing? He was actually doing business. And whose occupation is business? It is of Vaishyas. So Krishna has told that Chaturvarnyam Maya Shishtam. The 4 Varna has been created, the Surya has been created by me. And what are the 4 Varnas? Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Right? And he said that this Varna has been created not by birth, but by the occupation that they do. Yeah? By the occupation they do. So although he was born as a Brahmin, but the occupation that he was doing was of a Vaishya. He was doing a business. And he also accumulated lots of wealth. Yeah. Now, he accumulated a lot of wealth, and he never did anything which is, he never fed Brahmins. He never actually, fed Brahmins, the Vaishnavas. He never donated a lot of money for the temples. He never did yagya. What he was doing, he never offered tarpan to the forefathers. He used to spend all the money in enjoying himself and also spending with his rich friends. Yeah. So now he was going to get married for the 4th time. And when he was going to get married for the 4th time, he was actually going for that along with his sons and friends. And on the way, a snake actually bit him. Yeah. And after some time, he finally died. The Brahmin, Shankukarna, who was a rich businessman, he died. Now, after some time, this Brahmin was actually born as a snake. So I have read multiple stories in our Puran where it is very clear that if you have too much attraction for wealth and you're very much worried about safety of your wealth, and your mind is in your wealth, where it is, you will die and your next birth will be snake to protect your wealth. That is why detachment is very, very important. Because if you have wealth and your mind is always how to do that and how to protect that, or wherever it is, my house, my property, my this, my that, finally what will happen, you're attached to that, and finally you will take a, especially for the wealth, the gold and the money that is there, you will get a birth of a snake. So after many days, many years, he was born as a snake, and he remembered his previous life also. So what he went is, he thought that, before he went for his marriage, he had actually hidden crores of wealth in front of his house. He had hidden it underneath something. He said, okay, let me go and stay there and protect that crores of wealth that I had accumulated. And he went there and he stayed. He became a snake and started staying there. Now many years passed and he got tired of protecting that wealth. So he thought, now it's time for me to tell this to my sons, and ask them to help him come out of this yoni, snake yoni. So he actually came in the dreams of his sons and told them that, see, I am your father, and because of the whole thing, I have been born as a snake, and I am here actually protecting the wealth that I had actually hidden. So I would say that help me to come out of this yoni, and I want to give this well to all of you. Now this dream came to all the sons, and one of the son, he actually in the night itself went in search of the location that his father had mentioned in the dream, to dig and find the wealth, where the wealth is. And when he was digging, the snake came out and he said, who are you? So he says, I'm basically your son Shiv, and what are you doing? Actually, I am digging to find the wealth. He says, no, you can't do that. First of all, you have to help me to come out of this yoni. He said, what should I do? He says, see, you have to recite chapter 7, because that chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita, when you recite it every day, it can help you to get out of the cycle of birth. Can help you to for liberation. So please recite chapter 7 every day. Get the Brahmin and ask the Brahmins to recite, and specifically at the Shad time. Ensure that when my Shad is going, ensure that the Brahmins are chanting this chapter 7. And once that is finished, you have to feed all the Brahmins and many more Vaishnavas and Brahmins who are actually doing this, reciting and doing this thing. And this will actually help me to come out of my this snake yoni. And his sons, they were very, very good, very, very, very dharmic. They followed their father's advice. They actually helped their father to come out of this yoni. And then the father, he actually appeared and distributed and gave the wealth to his son and left. And then his sons, being dharmic, they actually used the wealth wisely, and they distributed the wealth for all the pious activity. They did all the pious activity, and they lived their life in a very, very dharmic way. Always remember, if we live our life in a very dharmic way, then our family, our society, it will always prosper. But when you have adharma, then what will happen? That is the cause for the destruction. Yeah. So with this, so that is the glory of chapter 7. Reading chapter 7 every day can help someone to get liberation. Yeah. So with this, I will actually close today's class, and we'll chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. If you have any questions, feel free to please write it down. I'll try my best to answer you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.